over 55 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by the Georgia Farm Bureau in association with Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the Farm Monitor. So glad you're with us. This young lady to my left, Jennifer Parson. This old dude speaking, Ray DeLessio.
Yes, thanks for tuning in. We've got a great show lined up, one that's all about looking ahead and spotlighting the next generation of ag leaders. Case in point, for this producer, farming isn't just in his blood, it's his calling. From the pasture to social media, he's on a mission to lift up the industry he loves. From blue jackets to big futures, see how one of Georgia's largest career expos is helping FFA students turn passion into purpose.
Plus, it's the story of how one Barnesville mom is shaping the future of farming and inspiring a new generation of Georgia Farm Bureau leaders. These stories and so much more are starting right now. In Morgan County, Liam Tukesbury isn't just carrying on a family tradition, he's putting his own spin on things. A third-generation cattle farmer with a big heart for ag and an even bigger passion for helping others, Liam is making an impact far beyond the pasture. As John Holcomb shows us, it's a story of hard work, mentorship, and paying it forward.
For Liam Tukesbury, farming certainly isn't just a job. It's a passion that runs deep in his blood. A third-generation cattleman, Liam's love for the industry is one that's been instilled in him since he was born. But it's a passion that's only grown over the years, especially when it comes to livestock and the cattle industry.
I started showing club lambs when I was about 8 years old, and did that all the way up until middle school, and then got into showing some dairy cattle. We're pretty big dairy county around here back in the day, and my love of cattle and you know, farmers and stuff kind of came through showing livestock. And when I got into high school, I started showing beef cattle and joined FFA and was very active in FFA with livestock judging and all the competitions in FFA, and that really kind of bolstered my love for agriculture.
From there, Liam's journey continued onward to bigger and better things, as he works in and around the cattle industry to this day, whether that's managing cattle operations or consulting within the industry. However, that passion and hard work goes beyond cattle. It's about people, community, and telling agriculture's story.
I have the utmost admiration, you know, for those producers that get up every single day, and I want to be able to fight for them and fight for their story and their legacy, and, you know, for their next generation to be able to, you know, to carry that and to feed our communities. You know, we're not out here to feed the world, but we're here. It starts with feeding the communities in your area, and if you can start there, I think that's a big thing.
One way he fights for producers in the industry is by utilizing the platform he knows best, social media.
Social media has been a wonderful outlet for me because I get to not only share my story with my friends, but just the daily consumer. You know, folks that may not have that connection with cattle or the farm life, you know, I get to, you know, that might be the thing that they look forward to is, you know, what is Liam up to today on the farm, you know, and I think if we did a better job of telling our story, because the consumer is so far removed from what we do as cattle, you know, and there's so much misinformation out there, and I think if we can capture that through our stories, through social media, I really think we could help our industry as a whole, and teaching those consumers, because at the end of the day, we're in the people business as much as we're in the cattle business.
Reporting in Madison for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
If you noticed a sudden spike in blue jackets and big dreams around Macon recently, you weren't imagining things. FFA students from across Georgia came together for the 97th Annual State Convention. It was part celebration, part pep rally, and all about preparing for the future of agriculture. Damon Jones was there, surrounded by energy, enthusiasm, and shows us why that future I mentioned is in some pretty capable hands.
It's one of the highlights of every Georgia FFA State Convention, where the thousands of students in attendance get a first-hand look at all the possibilities their future might hold. I'm talking, of course, about this Career Expo, which is one of the largest in the state and is sure to have a little something for everyone.
They love to interact with the vendors. We got folks that come in that are truly talking about jobs and careers, and those students know about opportunities. We have colleges and universities, technical schools here to help students realize this is what it takes to get from where you are in middle or high school to our program. They get to interact with folks in the industry of agriculture, interact with colleges and universities, the military, life after high school, starting to prepare these students to go forward and be productive when they leave our program.
Leaving the program doesn't necessarily mean leaving the state, as keeping some of the top talent at home is essential for the long-term health of Georgia's economy. And what better way to do that than showcase all the opportunities in and around the state's #1 industry.
For me, it was amazing to see the sheer mass of agricultural and allied organizations that support students here in our state. We have such talent here in the state of Georgia, and so when I was a student here, it was amazing to see the opportunities that were available to me by staying in my hometown.
We have a lot of students that are interested in production agriculture that want to go there, but we have plenty of students that are interested in technology, research, water quality, the environment, forestry, natural resources, and so coming here, Georgia EMC is a big vendor here, and they can figure out what it's like to work for rural electrification. The dairy groups are here, they can learn about animal agriculture. So yeah, I think it's great for the students to come here and realize what different parts of agriculture are.
Whether going to college, a tech school, or straight into the job market, these students are already in high demand as FFA teaches them not just the skills, but also the mentality that appeals to recruiters.
They learn a lot of skills in high school that we may not have to train quite as much once they're on the job. We're learning technical skills in agricultural mechanics classrooms, but I think FFA also instills a lot of hard work into those students, tenacity and grit, and also the ability to hear a no and come back with a yes.
Thanks to the numerous programs and competitions the FFA offers, its members learn a work ethic that will serve them well in the future, no matter what career path they choose.
If they're going to be in competitive events for us, or the Agri-Science Fair or Proficiency Award, they're going to practice. They show up and work and keep records, and so when they get a chance to talk to employers about that, these students may just think they're doing FFA things. And when they get to talk to these employers and realize, I've been getting up early to go feed animals or practice CDE or double check my research and my hours and my money and my numbers, then they're instilled, those characteristics are instilled in them already.
Reporting for the 97th Annual FFA State Convention in Macon, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
After the break, with faith as her compass and family at her side, one Georgia woman is breaking barriers in agriculture while never losing sight of what matters most.
My name is Katherine Churnney, and I'm an associate professor of animal science here at ABAC. I was originally born in South Africa, in Durban, South Africa. When I was 10 years old, my parents immigrated here to the United States. My mom got me involved in horses. That's where I started riding and have continued that throughout my life. My favorite memory as a child with horses, when my mom used to drop me off at horse camp. So back in the 80s, there were, it seemed like less rules. I would go to horse camp and we would just stay, all of these pack of kids would just stay at the trainer's house for a week, just being kids at a farm. My favorite memory of working with the horses, the ABAC horses, is when I moved them down from the beef unit to the ABAC stables. It was the summer of 2020, so nobody was here. It gave me an opportunity to really work with them without anybody around, just bond, get to know them a little bit better, and see what they would be able to do. One of the ways that I use horses to relax is just doing barn chores. It seems so mundane, but it's just cleaning the stall, grooming the horse, turning them out, feeding, getting the hay. Those things seem maybe not that exciting, but it's kind of therapeutic in a way that you have a method and you have a focus that you're solely focused on. I've had many horses throughout my life, but the one that's probably what we call my heart horse, his name is Damnation. A heart horse is a term that is used by horse people that describe a horse that means something special to an individual. So oftentimes, I've had several horses throughout my life, and there's Damnation is my favorite. It's usually your favorite, the one that connects with you the most, that you'll never forget. What would I say to someone who maybe has no horse background is that horses are like dogs. They all have their own personalities. Once you get to know them and you get to know how they communicate through their body language, it's just like having a companion animal. They're just very friendly. Even the ones that are a little hot-headed, you can still, if you can break through and be able to be around them, it's just a really positive experience.
In a profession rooted in tradition, progress can sometimes take the long road. But every so often, someone comes along who blends those two worlds perfectly, honoring the past while paving the way for the future. Allie Andrews of Lamar County is doing just that. In the stillness of the early morning, before the rest of the world begins to stir, Allie Andrews is already in motion. But she's not just tending to livestock or checking on the chicken houses. She's shaping the future. She's a mother of 3, a devoted wife, and a full-time farmer. But in 2025, Allie added another title, one she never sought yet proudly carries: the first female chair of Georgia Farm Bureau's Young Farmers and Ranchers Committee.
I mean, it's an honor, first and foremost, to be even thought of, to be voted in as this position. But I want to do it right, and I want to do it well. And I don't want it to be about the title, but the service along with that title. So I just really want to do the organization, the committee, the young farmers and ranchers throughout the whole state. I want to do it well for them.
Yeah, I'm just proud of how she's, moved up and just wanted to serve and just kept serving. And she just worked hard to be in that position. So I'm just proud of her and happy for her and happy for all of us being able to be a part of it.
As a mother, a wife, a farmer, and now a history maker, Allie wears many hats. But without a doubt, her absolute favorite title is Mom. Why is it so important to you guys that you raise them on the farm the right way?
It's a great question. I would say appreciation. It's hard work, and you've got to love what you do. And so I've seen how Luke grew up on the farm and just grew up appreciating what we have. God's not making any more land. And so for our kids to grow up and just, hey, I'm going to the creek, I'm going to the fort at the creek. Kids in a neighborhood don't get that. And that's not downplaying that. This is just what God blessed us with. But, they appreciate a lot more. They appreciate a nap. I don't know. I think it's humility.
For Allie and Luke Andrews, raising their 3 children on the farm isn't just about lifestyle. It's about legacy. It's about giving them something the world sometimes forgets: perspective, purpose, and connection to the land.
The good Lord's blessed us with that, responsibility of these children, and I think just raising them here is just a wonderful plus to that. And I mean, they just get their knowledge of things and how to run things, and they're already running some equipment and stuff, and it's just, I mean, they're just already picking up on it so quick, and they're really talented, and I'm just proud of them too for, I mean, they worked hard. This past weekend, they were they were helping me a lot, and I was just told them how proud I was of them, and how thankful I am that they're being able to live this life.
The Andrews children don't just watch, they do. Whether it's walking the chicken houses with Dad, helping feed calves, or working in the garden, they're learning by living. And when it comes to teaching others, Allie and Luke are leading by example. However, their commitment to education through farming isn't limited to their own kids. It extends to classrooms, career days, and any curious mind willing to learn. Because Allie and Luke believe the future of agriculture depends on the seeds you plant today.
I would have never seen myself in Washington, D.C. Like this little old girl from Butts County, Georgia, now living in Barnesville, Georgia, advocating for agriculture, which I did not come from an ag background. So I would have never thought that I would go to Washington, D.C. and advocate for what we're advocating. Maybe to visit for the history and it's our nation capital, sure. But to be up there at their doorstep advocating for agriculture, I would have never thought of it. And I wouldn't have ever had that opportunity if it wasn't for a Farm Bureau.
But life on the farm isn't always picture perfect. There are seasons of loss, droughts of rain, of hope, of answers. And it's in those moments, Allie and Luke say, that mental health matters most.
You know, we're all cheering each other on. We all want everybody to succeed. But then we're all like, well, what can we do to help you? Well, let that voice be louder. You know, here's a mentorship group that's really helped me like make good decisions even. It doesn't have to just be mental health. Like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts?
I would say just lean into Jesus, because that's the only way I get through things. And yeah, there are stressful times, and I mean, we're in one right now with you know, commodity prices the way they are, and just I would just say stay in your word and lean into Jesus, and lean into your wife and your kids and your family.
That faith is the bedrock of the Andrews farm. It fuels their grit, grounds their purpose, and inspires their mission to create not just crops, but a legacy. Sure, Allie Andrews may be the first woman to lead Georgia Farm Bureau's YF&R committee, but titles don't matter much to her. What matters most? 3 kids with muddy feet, a husband who believes in her, and a farm that feeds more than just a table. It feeds the soul. Yeah, the Andrews family as a whole, a powerful reminder that farming isn't just a job, it's a calling. Time for our final break, but when the Monitor continues, meet a South Georgia innovator whose humble beginnings and bold decisions transformed the state's ag industry.
Well, as I said, my career journey is a little strange. My grandfather died in 1967. My father was in the florist business, and he was really the only choice we had, so he agreed to come run the company. After my freshman year, my father called and said that he just had enough, so I decided to come on back. So at the age of 20, I started running our company.
Ralph is a doer. He's not a talker. He just gets things done, and he likes to do it behind the scenes.
His taking on the family business early on and building it into an operation that has had an undeniable impact in ways to give farm families and farmers access to feed, seed, fertilizer, and the things that they need every single day to help them be successful.
Ralph opened a store in Colquitt County, and I wondered, why is somebody from Douglas expanding over to the facility in Colquitt County? But I realized quickly that Ralph was expanding all over.
Years ago, I had a banker that asked me what was my 5-year plan. I said, I don't even have a 5-month plan. Every year, every other year, something came up, and the way I looked at it, if it made sense and there were good people there, that I would look at buying it.
He took his grandfather's one store and expanded that to 20 or 30 of those major facilities.
In '94, I decided to put in a cotton gin right here in Douglas, Georgia, and the cotton gin flourished. And then in '95, over in the Camilla region, they had a shortage of cotton ginning capacity over there, so we put in a cotton gin there.
Ralph and his family have been very innovative over the years, and whenever they've seen an opportunity or a place where there might have been a void in the agricultural industry, they've always been willing to take that on. And when you look at premium peanut, that is a perfect example of how they saw an opportunity and a void in a way to ensure that agriculture continues to be successful right here in the great state of Georgia.
Ralph was a driver and the originator of the premium peanut company there in Coffee County that again brought all the peanut growers in that part of the state together.
I think premium peanut is the envy of the whole peanut industry. It has helped the farmers in the area and really all across Georgia tremendously, and it's put money back in their pocket that they normally wouldn't be getting.
They have all just done so well as a result of Ralph's vision, his ideas about the marketing of peanuts.
The peanut industry means a lot to our state. And so when Ralph and the many others that took on that opportunity, they saw an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for success, and an opportunity for a grower-led operation that will allow not only farmers and producers to be successful, but allow our South Georgia communities to be successful as well.
Because of those things like that he has done in the agriculture community in our state, there is nobody who is more worthy of being in the Agricultural Hall of Fame in Georgia than Ralph Evans.
Ralph has been one of those innovators who has led the way in allowing and finding ways to allow agriculture to continue to succeed, and allowing farmers and farm families to find those new and innovative technologies and opportunities that have allowed their operations to be successful.
Because I don't look at myself really as deserving. I mean, I've just done what I do, and looking back, I do feel like that I probably made some difference in agriculture in Georgia. I'm extremely proud, and I'm very humbled by it.
A true ag visionary. Congrats to Ralph Evans on a well-deserved honor. Well, that's our show for this week.
For Jennifer and everyone here at the program, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon for another Farm Monitor. Stay safe.